What's up, guys? It's Alex from Alex's Creative Corner here. This is part 2 out of 3 on making Peacemaker, the NightWing miniature version. In this portion, we'll be making the body and the tail. What you need before we start is what we made from part 1, which is the wings, both of them, both back legs, both front legs, and the head and neck. Yeah, we're just gonna be, I think we only need black in this part, except for the spikes. So I showed you how to make some spikes in part 1. There was 2 types. There was one where I used the Alpha Loom band and made that sharp tip on top. And then I did a double looped normal Rainbow Loom white under it. That we're going to need to make 8 of those, so make 8 of them. I showed you how to make it in the last part. If you're not making those spikes, if you didn't make it on this one and you just made the normal ones, just continue doing that. You want to make 23 of them. Yeah, 23. And then if you are doing these, you want to make 8 of them. And then you want to make 15 of the normal ones, which I also showed you how to do. They were the first spikes I showed you how to do in part 1. So we're gonna get started. I'll show you what I put on the loom. I went with a double loop black band there, and then I went now with 2 black bands at a time, diagonally upwards, right there, and then down once, and then here down twice with 2. Then diagonally inwards, and go all the way down 2 at a time, and then all the way down both sides. Yeah, so you're filling up your loom like that. And then we're gonna be double looping, so I went with double loop bands across the 3 pegs all the way on the ones that you can see, and then this last one I'm gonna triple loop it so it's a bit tighter. So to do that, you just need to wrap it around the peg 3 times, take your hook and pull it there. Now we are going to start attaching things. Make sure you've made your spikes, like I just showed you how to. We're gonna start by attaching our head, and make sure you have something close to you. It can be a holding hook, another hook, a toothpick, a pencil. Just have it close because we're going to need it to hold. So going through this first set, don't go through the tying band, go through the 4 loops that it's holding. I'm going to go through a side set, attach it onto this peg. Now I'm going to go through the middle set. Make sure you're going through them and not in between. Okay, now with whatever you're going to hold it with, pencil, another hook, whatever, taking the top 2 loops from this peg of the bands we just attached, so taking the top 2 off, taking the top 2 from the middle, and then the top 2 from the other side, just holding them, leaving them right there. It's going to be there for like a little bit. First, what we are going to do is double loop a black and put it across these 3 pegs. Take your wings, so they look like this, they go on those sides. I'm going to take my hook, and turn it over so that the stars are facing up. It would look like this on this side. I'm going to go down into that first set, which is 4 black loops, taking off the tying band, Then grabbing this holding loops that we just put on right there. I'll zoom in a bit. These holding loops right there, grab them with your hook and pull it through the 4 black loops on your hook. Then you can replace it. I'm going to do it again with the next set, which is 4 red loops. Go through, so go down into them, take off the tying band. Now I'm going to go into this next, these next 2 holding band loops, and I'm going to pull them through like that and replace it. Next set, which is again 4 red loops, going into the next holding bands and replace them onto the peg. Last set on the wing that we're attaching. And you gotta stretch to get those holding bands and reattach them like that. We're gonna repeat this on the other side, so get your other wing so it's like this, and then flip it over so the stars are facing up. Go into the first set, going down into it, all 4 black loops, grabbing the first 2 loops, pull them through like that. Next set. And we're just continuing like we did with the other wing on the other side. Last set. Taking off the tying band, grabbing that, pulling it through and over. Okay, we've got both wings on. That's good. Now I'm going to attach on my front legs, so make sure these loops are still on that hook or whatever's holding it. So get your front legs, make sure that they look, oh, my light just went off. Make sure that they look like this, and the spots are facing forward. I'm gonna go into this leg. I'm gonna go into the first set, going through 4 black loops. This set has a red dot on it, or whatever color y'all did. Mine does have a red. So putting all 4 black loops onto this peg. Next peg is, or next set, grabbing all 4 black loops. Take off the tying band and replace that right there. Put that on. So there's one front leg attached. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side with the other leg. So going in down into the 4 black loops of the first set, the one with the red dot on it, a red spot, whatever. Gonna put it onto that peg. Next set. Sorry if there is any background noise. Taking off that tying band and putting it onto this next peg. Sorry if my hands cover it. Now, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're gonna attach. One sec. Oh God, sorry. 1, 2. Okay, on this 5th peg from the top, that is, I'm going to zoom out a bit. That's where we're going to start attaching our back leg. So grab a back leg. It should look like this. The other one will look like that on that side. I'm going to go down into this first set. I'll go down through all 4 black loops, taking off the tying band, and I'm going to attach this onto the 5th peg from the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. Going through the second set, and I'm going to attach it onto the 6th peg, so the next one. Sorry, I can't tell if y'all can hear that background noise. Okay, so we've got that back leg attached. We're gonna go into the next one. Taking off the tying band. Oh god. Sorry if I keep shaking the camera. Oh, my dog is barking. We're gonna ignore that. So I'm gonna attach. And now these loops that we've had on our hook or you're holding, we're gonna replace them. So the first 2 loops, they go on back to that peg. The next 2 go to this middle peg. And then the last 2 go back to this peg. Yeah. So we've got all of our body parts attached except for our spikes. I'm gonna start looming the sides. So dig down in this first set, grab the very bottom 2 black loops. Careful when looming them up. Just make sure they don't snap. You might need a helping hook. And I'm gonna just keep looming, so grabbing the very bottom 2. Oh. A band of mine snapped, but I had one to back it up, so it's fine. I'm gonna just be a little bit more careful from now on. Okay, my dog is barking like crazy. And I'm gonna stop on the 5th peg from the bottom. So right there. Oh, sorry. Just moving my light. My power came back on. Yeah, a few days ago. Anyways, I'm gonna loom just like we did. I'm just gonna do it on the other side. Gonna try not to snap a band this time. We're just going to the 5th to bottom peg. Okay, I'm gonna help myself up there. Like that. Now in the center row, I'm just going to start attaching spikes. So, taking the spikes that we made, I'm going to start out, if you have the 2 types of spikes like me, you have the bigger ones with that alpha loom band top. We are just going to start by attaching all of those. So, I'm pretty sure there's 8 of them. So, I'm just going to loom up these 2. Oh, I did something. did I do something? Can't tell. Just gonna wrap that band. Okay, forget what I just did. So yeah, I loomed up the first two, and I'm gonna lift up those 2 loops and slide on a spike. And then reclaim. It's a little bit hard right now because it's in between the wings and stuff. So I'm gonna loom up the next 2 and slide on a spike. And I'm gonna keep doing this. We're gonna come to a spot right here where we do something different, but until we get there, just keep doing this. Almost done with the bigger spikes. Okay, I'm going to place my last one right there. This is my 8th one. Now what I'm going to do, my other spikes, I'm going to place one onto this next peg. I'm going to turn it around so the tip is facing towards the head. And then I'm going to dig down and loom the top 2 bands underneath this. So the top 2 black, they go diagonally there for me. And then next 2, mine go there. Then you can lift it up and it will be attached like in between them. Like that. So now what I'm gonna do is with my hook, so I've got band on it like this, or my spikes on it. I'm gonna dig down into the right side. It could be the right or the left for you. So looming up those top 2, don't loom over yet. Then going over, stretching over to this other side, looming up these 2. So now you have 4 loops on your hook. I'm gonna slide on a spike onto those 4 loops. Now the bottom 2 are gonna go to the most recent peg that we took them from, and then the top 2 go to the first peg. I'm gonna do that again. Go to the right side, loom up the bottom 2, then go to the left side, loom up the bottom 2, and then slide on the spike. Bottom 2 go back to the left side, top 2 to the right. They just go back to the side you got them from. Gosh, my dog is barking again. We got one more for this portion, so looming up, digging down, loom up, slide it on. You'll start to get the hang of this. Alright, now that we finished this portion of the body, I'm going to tie off these 2 ends with 2 random colored bands. Doesn't matter because we'll take them off later. Now I'm going to start to take this off my loom. Just be careful because remember the holding bands are double looped and they'll snap easily. Okay. Now you can just make your adjustments. You can tug on the spikes so they stick out some more. Yeah. So it should look something similar to this right now. Now we're just gonna make the rest of the tail. So taking the, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. What we're gonna do is, from the end peg with double looping a black band, go down 7 times. Then on the 7th peg, or after doing that 7 times, you want to double loop 2 bands. So what you could do is take 2 bands and then just double loop it, or like double loop it onto the peg, or like, sorry, y'all know how to double loop, right? So just double loop with 2 bands, like, that's one way you could do it. You could get 2 bands and wrap it around a peg twice, and then just pull it to the next. Or you could just double loop a band and then double loop another one over it and then pretend it's like a hole. So once you do that there, go down twice with 3 black bands at a time, and then twice with 2 black bands at a time. So on the 3rd to top peg, right here, we're going to go 2 diagonally down, and then 2 down. Right here, it's a holding band. It's triple looped, so we wrapped it around a peg 3 times and pulled it across. Now, pretty simple. We're just gonna attach on our dragon. So grab the end of like the stumpy tail. I'm gonna make sure when you attach it, the spikes are facing up. So the left side goes to the left peg, and the right side goes to the right peg. Now I'm going to lift up the top 2 black bands from each of those pegs of the sets we just attached. I'm going to keep on my hook, and now I'm just going to I'm going to triple loop a holding band. So I'm just going to wrap it around this peg 3 times. I'm going to get my hook and pull it across. Now I'm going to replace both of the sets of 2 loops. So these 2 go there, and then the other 2 go there. Now we're just going to continue looming and attaching on spikes. Just what we've been doing. So go to the right side, loom up the bottom 2, then go to the left side, loom up the bottom 2. You've got, keep snapping bands. I'm being careless. Sorry. Not too much of a big deal. You've got, should be 4 loops on your hook. Slide on the spike. Bottom 2 go to the left. Last 2 go to the right. Right side, loom up 2. Left. Oh, what's that? Sorry about that. Now I am, so we've got 4 loops on my hook, slide on the spike, and all 4 loops go onto this peg. Like that. Now I'm just going to keep looming and slide on spikes. So looming these 3 bands, slide on a spike. I'm going to try not to twist them up too much. I want them to look pretty straight. Gonna keep doing that. The last set, we won't slide a spike onto that one. That one's just gonna be blank, or devoid of a spike. So now on the double loop ones, be extra careful with these. They'll snap and you'll have to replace them. Last spike, and then I'm just going to loom this last set. Now I am going to just tie this off with a black band. So whatever your body color is, black, gray, whatever it is, tie it off with that band. Now I'm going to take this off of the loom. Alright, we've got all these spikes on there now. Good. So this is the end of part 2. Next you're going to go to part 3. So, not yet. I still got some things to say. So, you've got this little loop at the end of your tail. I'll show you how to hide that. So go in through this end set, grab the loop, pull it through. Then I'm going to go into the next set, go through so your hook comes out on the same side as the loop, pull it through. I'm just going to zigzag it through. After you've done about 2, you can pull on it, or I'm going to keep going a little bit longer. You can keep going until it's hidden, but sometimes it still sticks out a bit. So after about 4 zigzags, you can get the loop, wrap it around the tail, and hide it between the spikes. So now you can't really see it or anything. Hope I got that in the frame. Yes, this is Peacemaker's body. Next part, we're just going to be making and attaching the belly. In between this, it's best to... or in between these videos, it's best to wire your dragon. For him, I am going to wire him with 20 gauge black coated bead landing wire. I use black coated because it'll be less visible because he has black bands and you won't be able to see it. Yeah, so I have a tutorial on how to wire your dragon. It uses a dragon of a little bit bigger scale, but same idea. So watch that if you're not sure how to wire it, or if you just need help. Yeah, I'll see you in part 3. Hope this wasn't too hard to follow, the tutorial. Yeah, I'll see you in part 3. We'll make the belly. Just probably best to wire it up now.